guys, welcome back to my channel. Here in this channel we'll talk about relaxed hair care, hair growth tips, protective styling, and so much more concerning the hair topic in general. So if you know you're interested in this type of content, consider subscribing to join the family. So in today's video I'm going to share with you guys the do's and don'ts of low porosity hair. Now without further ado, we are just going to get started, and I'm going to start by defining what porosity means. So porosity simply means how closed or open the cuticle layer of your hair strands are, and this is actually the outer layer of the hair. So there are three types of hair porosity: the low porosity, the high porosity, and the medium porosity. The porosity of your hair is going to depend on how open or closed the cuticle layer of your hair is. So moving on to the porosity type we are going to be talking about today, low porosity hair is actually a hair type in which the cuticle layer is more open. So when you have low porosity hair, your strands have a tightly bound cuticle layer, meaning products are less likely to go in, and when they go in they are less likely to come out. So moving on to the do's and don'ts, I'm going to start with the don'ts, and the first one I'm going to be talking about is do not skip shampoo. There is no way you have low porosity hair and you skip a shampoo. I know sometimes it's advisable we co-wash our hair, condition our hair, and skip the shampoo just to make our hair more moisturized and all that. But when you have a low porosity hair, you don't want to skip a shampoo because low porosity hair is actually prone to build up. Like I said earlier, products are less likely to come out when they go in. So that's why they are more prone to build up compared to the medium porosity or high porosity hair. So always choose shampooing over co-washing. Now moving on, the next don't I'm going to talk about on the list is don't skip heat when conditioning. Like I said earlier, low porosity hair find it harder to absorb products including conditioner because of how tightly bound the cuticle layer of the hair strand is. So it's usually better to find a way of opening up the layer, the pores, so that the product or the conditioner, the moisturizer, whatever you want to use, can penetrate the hair strands. So that's where the use of heat comes in. You can use heat in the form of a blow dryer, you can use heat in the form of a steam cap. Even if you don't have any of these appliances, you can actually generate heat when you want to condition by just putting on a shower cap and leave it on your hair for about an hour. This will still generate heat, just that it's going to be slower compared to when you use a heat appliance on your hair. If you use a heat appliance, you may only have to carry out the routine for about 15 minutes, but if you decide to use a shower cap, it's going to be slower, so you are going to have to leave it on for a longer period. So it's always advisable to use heat when conditioning when you have low porosity hair, so don't skip the use of heat when conditioning. Now the next on the list is don't use leave-in conditioners too often. Low porosity hair, like I said, have the tendency to get a lot of build-up, have the tendency to trap in products. So when you use leave-in conditioners too often, it will make your hair more prone to build up, because when the products get in, there is no way for them to get out. This actually has its pros and its cons, because when the products get in, for example, if you use a moisturizer, it will be hard for the product to get out, meaning your hair is going to stay more moisturized for a longer time, it's going to be conditioned for a longer time compared to someone that has high porosity hair. But the con of this is that the other products or ingredients in that product that basically don't have any moisturizing or conditioning effect is still going to stay trapped in your hair, making your hair more prone to build up. So when you want to use leave-in conditioners, don't use them too often. There's actually no need to use them too often, because when you condition or moisturize your hair is going to stay that way for a long time before the need arises for you to use it again. So using leave-in conditioners too frequently for low porosity hair is not actually necessary. Now moving on, the next on the list is don't do a protein treatment too often. This is almost similar to the last tip I just mentioned. Now, there are two aspects I want to talk about when it comes to doing protein treatments too often. The first is that doing protein treatments too often also has the capacity of giving your hair product buildup. because there are other ingredients in the protein treatment that your hair may not necessarily need, but they may become trapped in your hair strands because of its low porosity. Now, that's the first aspect. The second aspect I'm going to talk about is the function of protein treatment is to make our hair stronger, to give it more strength, and it actually does this by reinforcing the cuticle layer, making the cuticle layer more strong, and actually filling in the pores. For someone that has high porosity hair, when you do this very often, it may actually be beneficial for your hair. But if you have low porosity hair, your pores are already closed, they are tightly bound, they are too tight. Now, using a product that will worsen that, I will make your pores more closed, is not something you should use too frequently. So yes, it's good you use protein treatments no matter your type of hair porosity, but when it comes to low porosity, you want to reduce the frequency at which you use it. Because when you do a protein treatment for a low porosity hair, you're going to close up the pores, products will not be able to penetrate even when you moisturize or condition, and your hair will become very, very dry, stiff, frizzy, and before you know it starts breaking. So don't do a protein treatment too frequently. Now, the next thing I'm going to be talking about is using heavy oils. When you have low porosity hair, you don't want to use heavy oils. Like I said, low porosity hair is actually prone to build up, so you want to limit the use of heavy oils because heavy oils are more prone to causing buildup compared to light oils. And there may not necessarily be a need for you to use heavy oils because, like I said, once the product gets in, it's in. So you may not really have to do much when it comes to sealing in your moisturizer. So when you want to use an oil, if you have low porosity hair, I recommend that you use a light oil. Now, another don't when it comes to low porosity hair is don't use too many products. First of all, products take time before they get absorbed into low porosity hair, so there is actually no need for you to layer products all over your hair. Take it one step at a time, more products at a time, and then when it gets in, it's hard for it to come out. Meaning the more products you use, the more build-up you're going to have. So there's actually no need layering products on your hair. In fact, whatever your hair porosity, I would not recommend that you layer products on your hair. When you want to moisturize using the LOC or using the LCO method, is fine. There is no need for you to add additional products all in the name of wanting your hair to feel more moisturized. So when you have low porosity hair, keep your products to a minimum. Now, moving on, the next I'm going to talk about is a do, which is do moisturize. When you have low porosity hair, your cuticle layer is kind of strong, and I recommend that you moisturize using products that has humectants. For example, glycerin, because when you use this kind of product, it means that even though your hair will not completely absorb the products you use at a particular time during a routine, it still has the potential of attracting moisture days later after your routine. Because if you use a moisturizing product that has a humectant, e.g. glycerin, these kinds of draws in moisture from your surroundings, so your hair will get moisturized not only when you actually apply the moisturizer on your hair, but even hours or days later. Now, the next I'm going to be talking about is a do, which is do wash regularly with clarifying shampoo. Like I said, low porosity hair is actually prone to a lot of buildup. So when you want to wash your hair, when you want to shampoo your hair, it's always recommended that you go in with a clarifying shampoo to get rid of all the buildup, to clarify your scalp, to clarify your hair as much as possible. So if you have low porosity hair and you want to shampoo your hair, especially when you've not washed your hair for a long time, I recommend you pick a clarifying shampoo over a regular shampoo. There are places when use of a regular shampoo or a moisturizing shampoo may be necessary. For example, if you washed your hair not too long ago, or if your hair is not dirty, or if you've not used a lot of products on your hair. But when you know you've not washed your hair for a long time, and when you know you've been regularly using products on your hair, regularly wash with a clarifying shampoo as well. Now, moving on, the next on the list is a do, which is use lightweight products. So like I said earlier, you want to avoid the use of heavy weight products when you have low porosity hair. So you are supposed to use lightweight products because generally these products have more tendency of getting absorbed into your hair and they have less tendency of leaving build up on your hair. So it's recommended to use lightweight products when you have low porosity hair. An example of a lightweight product is avocado oil. Now moving on, the next on the list is use heat when deep conditioning. I've talked about this earlier. You don't want to skip the use of heat when you want to deep condition your hair, and this is to open up the pores and allow the product or the conditioner, whatever you're going to use, to penetrate more into your hair strands. Now moving on, the next on the list is use warm water when washing. Now this is almost similar to the use of heat when deep conditioning, because anything warm or hot has the tendency of opening up our pores. So when you have low porosity hair and you want to shampoo or wash your hair and you really want the pores of your hair to open, to get out all the build up, to get out all the dirt, when you use warm water, it kind of open up your pores and make it more accessible for the products to actually get in there and deep in a deep clean, clarify it, get rid of all the dirt and all that. So I recommend that you use warm water when washing if you have low porosity hair. So these are the do's and don'ts I have for you today if you have low porosity hair. And if you watch this video this far and you enjoyed it, please don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new here and you aren't subscribed, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to join the fam and turn on the post notification bell so that you'll be the first to get notified whenever I upload a new video. So yeah guys, thank you so much for watching and see you in my next video. Bye.